Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a word that carries a lot of shame for a lot of people. Bankruptcy. I've sat across the table from many men and women who feel like they are drowning. They stop answering the phone. They dread the mailbox. And if that's you, I want you to take a breath. Bankruptcy is a legal tool, not a moral failure. Today we're going to unmask how it works, what it costs, and most importantly, how to know if it's the right step for you and your family's stewardship. Welcome to Financial Coaching Kingdom, the podcast that helps you align your money with your purpose. I'm your host, John. We've all felt the weight of financial stress, the sleepless nights, the silent disagreements with our spouse, the feeling that we're just not in control. But what if there's a better way? What if managing your money was less about math and more about peace of mind? On this podcast, we'll explore a different kind of financial freedom. It's not just about what you earn or what you owe. It's about the emotional clarity that comes from being on the same page with your spouse, the spiritual strength you gain from worshiping God with your finances, and the deep satisfaction of knowing you're building a lasting legacy for your family. Every week, we'll cut through the noise to bring you simple, powerful truths that will help you move from financial chaos to confidence. If you're ready to find clarity, grow in unity, and live with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get started. There's a specific weight that comes with overwhelming debt. It's that sound of the phone ringing from an unknown number. It's the pit in your stomach when you check the mailbox. It's the tension that sits at the dinner table between husband and wife. As financial coach, I have sat across the table from many people who feel that the walls are closing in. I was recently asked by a faithful couple if it was right for a Christian to file bankruptcy. As I was contemplating the question and praying, I was surprised at the response I got. The song, "He Paid a Debt He Did Not Owe," I owed a debt I could not pay, started running through my head. Considering the year of Jubilee, Old Testament laws about issuing loans, the Lord's Prayer, and the story of the dishonest manager, among others, we as Christians are intimately familiar with someone else paying our debt, both spiritually and financial debts. The Bible is clear that when something is borrowed, it should be paid back. Psalm 37:21, "The wicked borrows but does not pay back, but the righteous is generous and gives." Exodus 22:14, "If a man borrows anything of his neighbor and it is injured or dies, the owner not being with it, he shall make full restitution." As with all financial decisions, what to do when you find yourself beneath a pile of debt and struggling to see a way out is a very complicated and personal decision. One of the most frequent questions I hear at these moments is about the B word. People want a bankruptcy guide that doesn't just explain the law, but explains how to breathe again. My goal today is to help you unmask the realities of this process, look at ways to clear debt, and determine if this path is truly the best option for stewardship. When should I file bankruptcy? This is the most critical question. Bankruptcy is a legal tool designed for honest but unfortunate debtors. It is not a casual financial reset button, nor is it a moral failing. It is a mathematical and legal emergency exit. You should consider filing when Yeah, the 5-year rule applies. If you were to cut your spending to the absolute bare bones, necessities only, and you still could not pay off your non-mortgage debt within 5 years, your debt may be structurally unmanageable. Or when your wages are being garnished, if a creditor has structured judgment and is taking money directly from your paycheck, your ability to provide your four walls, your food, your shelter, your transportation, your utilities is at risk. Or you're facing a lawsuit. If you're being sued or with no visible defense or your fund to settle, legal intervention may be necessary. Or total insolvency. Your total liabilities far exceed your total assets, and your income has no projection of growth to bridge the gap. How does bankruptcy work? Understanding the mechanics can take away much of the fear. While I'm a coach and not an attorney, did you hear that? I'm a coach, I'm not an attorney. The general process follows a predictable path. First, you must complete a credit counseling course from an approved agency. This is to ensure you've explored all ways to clear debt before using the legal system. Once filed, an automatic stay goes into effect. This is a powerful legal shield that immediately stops all the collection calls, lawsuits, and even foreclosure proceedings. Next, a trustee is appointed to oversee your case. In a bankruptcy 7, that liquidation, they look for non-exempt assets to sell to pay off creditors. In Chapter 13, reorganization, they help manage 3 to 5 years worth of payment plan. Finally, if you meet all the requirements, the court issues a discharge order, legally releasing you from the obligation to pay the included debts. The financial investment. How much does a bankruptcy cost? It may seem counterintuitive, but it costs money to be broke. But bankruptcy costs is a reality you must budget for. There are filing fees. Federal courts typically charge between $313 and $338 to file, depending on the chapter. Attorney's fees. This is the largest variable. From the Chapter 7 fees range from $1,000 to $2,500. Chapter 13 is more complex and can cost $3,000 to $5,000. These fees are often rolled into your monthly payment plan. Credit counseling, usually under $100 for both required courses. While you can file pro se on your own, I rarely recommend it. The cost of the mistake in the paperwork can lead your case from being dismissed to the loss of assets you intended to keep. Bankruptcy without losing assets. Is that even a possibility? The biggest myth in debt relief is that filing means losing everything you own. This is where the exemptions come into play. Most people can achieve bankruptcy without losing assets like their primary vehicle, their clothes, or their household furniture. Each state has set its own exemptions. For example, if your state has a $5,000 vehicle exemption and your car is worth $4,000, the trustee cannot touch it. Many people find that through no asset filing, they keep their homes and cars while wiping away the credit card debt and medical bills that were suffocating them. If you're a homeowner, the term foreclosure is likely the source of your greatest anxiety. But what is foreclosure exactly? It's the legal process by which a lender attempts to recover the balance of a loan from a borrower who has stopped making payments by forcing the sale of the asset used as collateral for the loan. If you're behind on your mortgage, bankruptcy can be used as a tool to stop the clock. The Chapter 13 filing allows you to take the amount that you are behind and spread it over several years, allowing you to stay in the home while you catch up. Before you head to the courthouse, we must look at bankruptcy alternatives. As your coach, I want to ensure we aren't using a sledgehammer when a claw hammer will do. Debt settlements. Maybe you can negotiate with your creditors to pay a lump sum that is less than the full balance. This requires having a stash of cash and can be tax heavy, but it avoids the 10-year mark on your bankruptcy of your credit report. There's always the debt snowball. If your income is sufficient, you can use the snowball method, paying off debts from the smallest to largest. This builds that psychological momentum needed to finish the race. There's also credit counseling, DMP. A debt management plan through a nonprofit agency can sometimes lower your interest rates and consolidate your payments without court filings. Asset liquidation, selling the wanted items, the boat, the extra car, the expensive hobby gear to pay off those needs or debts. A plan for restoration. Bankruptcy is a tool for stewardship when all other doors have closed. It's a way to protect your family's future when the past has become an impossible burden. However, filing for bankruptcy without changing the habits that led to it is like bailing water out of a boat without plugging the hole. Whether you file or choose one of the many bankruptcy alternatives, the goal remains the same: to reach a place where you live generously and steward your income for God's glory. If you're in the thick of it, don't walk the path alone. The first step to restoration is clarity. Whether you need a legal reset or an aggressive repayment plan, let's build a map that works. Head over to the show notes, click the contact form, and let's start your journey towards financial freedom. I'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support the show is by taking a moment to rate and review it in Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It only takes a minute, and it helps new listeners find us. If you know someone who would love this conversation, please share it with them. Thank you for listening, and God bless.